Welcome back to another episode of the Thumb Strong Podcast. I'm joined as always by Coach Bethany.
Hi.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How's it going?
Fantastic. How are you?
Good. So last week we talked about top 5 ways to boost energy naturally. And we were going to talk about top 5 ways to reduce stress, but we ended up running out of time. So that's what we're going to cover this week is top 5 ways to reduce stress, because as we all know, when we do have high amounts of stress, that usually does take a toll on our energy. So they definitely go hand in hand. By increasing our energy, usually we reduce our stress, and when we reduce our stress, usually we have more energy.
Yes.
So we want to make sure that we're kind of doing both to help you guys just feel better and have better days and get more out of your work and your life and your relationships and your fitness, whatever it may be, right?
Yes.
So a lot of people think that like stress management means supplement, massage once in a while, just kind of hoping life slows down, or when they're not busy, they won't be so stressed, right?
Yeah.
But most of the time, lowering stress comes down to just implementing better habits and doing some small things daily that will help you lower that stress. Because unfortunately, a lot of us in today's world are under kind of a chronic level of stress every single day with all of the different stimulations and work and life and responsibilities that we have and stuff like that. We're always kind of in a stressed out state. So today we're going to kind of break down 5 of the top ways to reduce stress naturally and make it in a simple, practical, evidence-backed way. And I did do some research to find out, like, are these actually, the top 5 best ways for most general population to be able to reduce stress. Now, for some people, obviously, some strategies will work better. For some, they don't work as well, right? But for general population, for most of us, these strategies are going to work really well for reducing your overall stress load. So, Bethany, what's number 1?
Well, I thought we were going to, I have 5, you have 5. You know what I mean?
Yeah, what's your first one?
My first one. Okay.
You can start.
All right. So my first one is to reduce your screen time, especially your passive scrolling. So high screen time, especially passive social media use like scrolling or YouTube or just watching TV is considered passive screen time. It's linked to higher stress, anxiety, and lower mood. So if scrolling, it might feel like relaxation, or that you're like, oh, I need to take a break and I'm going to go scroll on my phone. But most of the time it keeps your brain stimulated, comparing yourself to what we see on the screen, seeing all the problems of the world. Our brains are not meant to handle all of that. And so you're just still on, you're not really resting your brain. So that's more the issue. Obviously for work, you're going to have to look at a screen if you have a computer. So that's not really what we see the negative effects from. It's from the passive screen time. Mm-hmm. The ideal range is 30 to 60 minutes, maybe even 90 a day of the passive screen time. Once you get above that 2-hour mark, you start seeing very consistent negative effects as far as depression, anxiety, stress, poor sleep, all of that. And then when you get to 3 or 4 more hours, that's when it gets even worse. So reducing screen time is a big thing. Some tips for doing that is to either you can have certain blockers on your phone, putting your phone in a different room when you go to bed. Turning your phone on grayscale helps, and it's a lot less stimulating. It's not as enticing when it's all in grayscale. You'd rather look at everyday life than a gray screen. So just some things to help reduce that, because that makes a big difference overall.
Yeah, 100%. So I'll try to, mine are in no particular order, so I'll try to kind of match mine up with the one that you do. So my number 4 here kind of goes along with that really, really well. So it's practice mindfulness or quiet time, even if it's just a couple minutes a day. So speaking of on the topic of screen time and that stimulation, is we can basically avoid that or take a few minutes away from that, reduce that by implementing some kind of mindfulness or just quiet time away from the phone. So a lot of us, we stay stressed out because that brain never gets a break. Like Bethany was saying, we go from work to notifications, running errands, making dinner, and then we watch TV, maybe we scroll on our phone, and then it's right to bed, right? So there's hardly any time during the day where we're just kind of shutting down and just taking a few minutes. So mindfulness-based interventions have some of the strongest direct evidence for reducing perceived stress in general healthy adults. But mindfulness doesn't have to be, sitting there, doing like meditation for 30 minutes straight or anything. It doesn't have to be like that. It can simply be just creating a few minutes where you slow down, become present, and kind of step out of that constant mental noise. So some practical examples could be just going for a quick, quiet walk, especially if you can go outside. That's even better. And that's another one that I'm going to talk about. But just a quick walk where not even where you have headphones in and music or anything, just you yourself, just kind of a silent, quick walk, especially if you can go outside, like around the block, or if you're at work or something, just listen to nature and the birds and stuff like that, right? You could journal. So you could write down, maybe it's the things that you know you need to get done tomorrow, or things just about your day. A lot of us, if we have a ton of things in our mind, by simply writing it out on paper, physically writing it out, you can have a huge weight lifted off your shoulders. So that can actually help with stress reduction right there. Just sit without your phone. Or you could do, obviously, a guided meditation. And there's actually some really cool apps and videos and stuff on YouTube where it's just like a 5-minute guided meditation. So it's not like you got to sit there for 30 minutes, like I said. So a lot of people think that they need like the perfect routine to do that right, but you really don't. You just need a little less stimulation and a few minutes of stillness. So take 5 minutes each day with no phone, TV, or distractions. Just breathe, journal, just be still, be present in the moment. So that can be really, really helpful.
Yes. My next one is replacing your screen time with real activities. So kind of piggybacking off of what you said, like going for a walk or doing something like that, journaling. So not all rest is equal. That passive screen time is not going to recharge you the same way that real world activities do. Even just sitting and watching TV doesn't really recharge you.
Right.
So your brain relaxes better when you are engaged in something real, especially something if you're doing it with your hands. It's not, the goal isn't just like less screen time. It's to replace it with something better for you. So, doing 20 to 30 minutes of reading, cooking, journaling, working on something with your hands. If you like to, some people really like to get into crocheting, drawing, painting, gardening, building a Lego set, something
puzzles.
like puzzles. There's endless amounts of things that you can get into as far as like hobbies and things like that. Just to have something, maybe learning a new instrument, something like that, to engage your brain, but to kind of focus on something else, and it takes you out of your own head and your own body. And then it actually like helps your brain to fully recover from the day. And plus it's more interesting to do something else.
Right. Yeah. Another one of mine that kind of goes with that would be getting outside and also prioritizing connection. So 2 of the best stress relievers are a supportive social connection and time spent outside, especially in nature. So social connection is a major factor in mental and physical health, and isolation is linked with worse outcomes. So nature exposure also supports lower stress and better mental well-being, even though ranking connection as more load-bearing idea. If you had to choose one, getting outside and getting connected with other people is going to be super beneficial. So I like to put those 2 together. So some practical examples where you could kind of maybe do both at once is if you went for a walk with a friend. So whether it's before work or after work, or maybe during work on your lunch break, you go out with a coworker. You guys can socialize and get some fresh air, get a walk in. You could get a workout in with a partner. You could just get together and have dinner together.
Call somebody.
Calling somebody and talking to them on the phone.
And going for a walk while you talk to them on the phone.
There you go. And walking while you're on the phone. There you go. So we're habit stacking these things now. And the key thing here, though, is that you want a positive and supportive social connection. So unfortunately, some of us get kind of stuck with maybe people that aren't super supportive, or they aren't like-minded, especially if you're at work and there's coworkers that don't align with you, or they're not like-minded like you. It can have a negative impact on our stress, right? So I think everybody can probably has had a coworker that stressed them out over the years, or people that aren't necessarily aligned with them or moving them in the right direction. In other words, the people you spend the most time with, you end up kind of becoming like, right? So we all kind of know that. So make sure that when you are doing these social connections, it's with somebody that's like-minded, or somebody that's supportive and positive, moving you toward who you want to become, or toward the goals that you have, right? And then when people are stressed, they often isolate themselves. So many people, they feel calmer, clearer after getting outside, moving a little bit, being around somebody, talking with somebody. It's just going to help them feel way better and relieve some of that stress. And that's why community matters so much. That's one of the reasons why I think like our group fitness is so popular as well, is because obviously everybody that's coming here and doing our group classes has a similar goal, like-minded. They all just want to feel better and get in better shape and be healthier. A lot of them are parents, so they all have something that they can have in common and relate to each other with. And so they come in here, they work out together, they chat, they socialize. A lot of people stay after and before classes. So the community is a huge thing. So try to find kind of your tribe. And have somebody that you can talk to. So this gives you that ability to kind of de-stress and socialize with somebody, and if you can get outside as well, gives you that movement, fresh air, nature, and connection all at once. So
yes. My next one is to create physical order. So to declutter your space. Studies shown, I know we did talk about this before, that cluttered environments are associated with higher cortisol levels and increased perceived stress. So if people live in more cluttered environments, they'll have those more higher cortisol levels, because all those different things, like you see it's very visual, and you're going to say, oh, this is something that I have to do. It's a task. It's an unfinished task loop that you haven't done yet, or it's a reminder of something that you have to do or that you should do. You just ended up getting cognitively overloaded. So by reducing your stress, by improving your environment, making it a more calming space, especially in the evening too, like that's the best thing that you can do, is if you do like just a 10-minute pickup of your space before you go to bed. And then that way you can dim the lights, you can kind of set the mood. It's like, okay, it's time to get ready for bed and relax. And, you don't have anything of like, like that shirt should go back in the closet, or like, I have all this laundry that I need to do. And it's like, you can take care of all that, then your brain won't be focusing on all those little things.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Another one of mine is going to be to move your body consistently. So obviously we've talked a lot about like getting out for a walk, getting outside, going for a walk with a friend or a coworker, but just moving your body consistently. Exercise in general and strength training is so beneficial for lowering stress. So exercise is definitely not just for burning body fat, building muscle. It's actually one of the best natural tools for lowering stress. So regular physical activity is consistently linked to better mental health, Exercise interventions can reduce stress, anxiety, and emotional strain. So this doesn't necessarily mean like a crushing hard workout or anything, but it could be walking, just doing a quick strength training workout, or like an interval training, lower intensity cardio, stretching, and obviously just getting outside and doing something intentional all count. So whether you can get out for a walk after work, get in to the gym before or after work for a quick strength training workout, do some stretching in the morning or at night, do some lower intensity cardio. So obviously, like right now, the weather's all over the place, so maybe it's not practical to go outside, but if you have something at home, maybe it's a treadmill, elliptical, a bike, or just body weight, you could just do some lower intensity cardio at home. And then obviously, like we said, getting outside is going to be important too. So a lot of people do the opposite when they're stressed out. They sit down, shut down, and kind of scroll. That stress really like lowers our energy. Like I said, like when you are super stressed, you just want to like go home and probably sit on the couch or, in the chair and watch TV or scroll, and just kind of be alone. Like a lot of us, can probably resonate with that. But one of the best things that you can do is actually kind of the opposite. It's move your body. I know, like for a lot of my clients over the years, if they come into the gym stressed out, they had a hard day at work, whatever it was, and we start throwing around some heavy weights, or like if I know they've had a tough day, bringing out those medicine balls and having them do ball slams, like 10 out of 10 times they just felt way better. They just took all their anger out on that slam ball, and then they just felt so much better after that, right? So you're literally like taking the anger out of your body and putting it onto the weights and stuff like that.
Into something else.
So definitely making sure that we're prioritizing movement, because there's so much research and studies that show that it just helps relieves anxiety and stress, and even helps with depression. We've had multiple people over the years that have had anxiety and depression that said that working out is what like keeps them going and keeps them motivated and just helps so much with that. So make sure that when you are stressed, go move instead of scroll. Even if it's like 10 minutes or just a quick, HIIT workout or something like that, doing a few burpees and then seeing how you feel, you probably will feel better. Get the blood pumping.
Right.
That makes a massive difference. So
the next one is to simplify your decisions, or just start removing things. Instead of trying to add in, I'm going to start this new habit tracker, I'm going to start doing this. And sometimes we try to do more when what we should do is reduce what we're doing and like not do as much. So one way of doing that is to reducing the decision fatigue. If we make too many decisions in a day, you're going to be more mentally drained from all those. So it just increases your stress and leads to worse choices later. So trying to either use things that will prevent you from having to use your willpower by having your clothes picked out for the day, always using the same, gym bag, and having a consistent breakfast, all that kind of stuff, and just keeping it very routine. That helps a lot. And then just to remove things that aren't serving you, like different notifications on your phone. So if you get a bunch of emails on your phone, it's like, do you really need to be getting them on your phone? Like, can you just have them on your laptop and then just check them once a day for work, especially? It's like, do you need all the things on your phone that you have? Like, could you put it on something else? Could you use it just on something else, on another device? That way, you're either not tempted to use it or it's not notifying you to use it. So removing the distractions before they happen.
Yeah. Somebody I was just talking with said that they log out of their social medias every time.
Yeah.
So like having to log in every time you want to go on Facebook or Instagram or Snapchat or TikTok or something, like that just adds another layer of entry to maybe where you don't want to do it as much.
Right.
Or every time you pop up on your phone, you're not accidentally checking some. Like, I'm guilty of that 100%. So I need to implement some of these strategies myself, probably.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought that was a good tip, is just log out every time you're done, using it. And maybe you just have like morning and night where you log in and check notifications if you want to check Facebook or whatever, instead of all throughout the day. Every time that notification bell goes off, we want to check it. I have my phone on D&D every night, and then during the day, even, I have it on silent. So I just have, I'm just checking it to see if I have notifications, rather than having that thing beep and vibrate all day long. Just because I get so many notifications, I don't want to be constantly distracted at every hour when I'm busy with that vibration or with that beep. So when I'm not busy anymore, when I get my task done at work, or if I'm done with a session or whatever it is, or done with this, then I can check and see what notifications I have. So that's just another tip too, is maybe silencing most of those notifications, or keep it on silent. That way your phone's not blowing up all day long.
Yeah, like really the only ones you need to have notifying you is like probably text and call.
Yeah.
If somebody
Phone
like
calls
legitimately needs something.
Yep.
Same thing as if you have an Apple Watch or a Garmin, all your notifications can come right through your phone to that. So you can either turn that feature completely off, or do just like calls and texts, which is what I do.
Yep.
Calls and texts will come through, and then you kind of realize that like you don't need your phone on you as much as you thought you did.
Right. Yeah. 100%. Next one for me is going to be to sleep more and sleep better. So lack of sleep makes everything harder, everything heavier. So when you're tired, stress feels bigger, emotions are harder to regulate, patience is lower, cravings go up, and energy goes down. Sleep and stress affect each other in both directions. So poor sleep can raise stress, and chronic stress can wreck your sleep. So that's why better sleep is not just good for energy, but it's one of the most important foundations for stress resilience as well. So sleep doesn't solve every problem, but it does make you much more capable of handling those problems. So a lot of people are trying to deal with life under recovered, basically, and that just makes everything harder. So all those decisions that we do have to make, they become a little bit more challenging, and they stack up more, it seems like it affects us more. Whereas like when we are well rested and have enough sleep, our stress resilience, like I said, is higher. So we're able to deal with everything that we have to do a lot easier when you are recovered and have a good sleep. So biggest action step is to create a nighttime routine. So like Bethany was kind of saying as well, like, dim the lights, like kind of get your body prepared for going to bed or shutting down for the day. Put your phone away. Maybe that's when you decide to do your journal. So maybe that's like your quiet time, or your self time is like that 30 minutes before bed, read a book. Maybe that's when you want to draw or journal, or work on a puzzle or something, before you go to bed. Whatever it is, I would just try to avoid those screens as much as possible. You can take a warm shower or bath before bed. So obviously a lot of us have heard about like cold therapy, cold showers. That's good for waking us up. So in the morning, a cold shower, but at night, a warm shower or bath actually kind of helps you relax, and it can help you sleep better as well. I like to read a few pages of a book. Even the lights in the bedroom, if they're more of a warm tone, like more of the yellow-orange tone rather than like the really bright white light, this mimics more of the sunlight. So it's stimulating us to stay awake and delaying that melatonin release. So if you have more of a warm, orange light, that even helps because it doesn't emit as much light. So it's not as much like sunlight,
right?
Essentially. And then the other thing could be to do a few minutes of slow breathing, which I'll talk about in my next one.
My last one is to do more hands-on physical tasks. So go touch some grass. That's one thing, which has actually been studied.
Grounding.
by touching like soil and grass and like something that's alive, there's microbes in the soil, but then also on plants and things like that too. But putting your hands in soil, it actually boosts your serotonin levels because of the microbes in it. I was just like watching a video and they said that, and I was like, whoa, okay, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And
I thought there's also like literally an electrical current between us and the earth when
yeah,
we
just
touch it
like
barefoot too.
different
That's what the
ions
grounding
and
effect
stuff.
would be.
Yeah, grounding. So yeah, walking barefoot is something a little bit different in the yard, or just putting your hands in some dirt. Whether you like pretty flowers or you want to grow some vegetables or something. And it is just fun to see the progress of something. Slow over time. It's not an instant thing. A lot of our life is very instant. Like, if you want food, you can order it instantly with your phone. If you want to watch a movie, you can do that instantly with your phone. If you want to call somebody, text somebody, you can do that instantly with your phone. You want to look up something, instant. Now, if you plant something, it's not instant. It's like it takes time. You got to water it before you see anything happening below the surface. So it kind of reminds you of like, okay, the good things in life, like the more natural things in life, it takes time. Sometimes you don't always see progress.
Mm-hmm.
So then it kind of ties into just like not being as like fast paced, and especially when it comes to health and fitness of like, oh my gosh, like why am I not seeing the results that I want to be seeing every time I check the scale, or why am I not seeing this, or why is this not improving? And it's like, just slow down. Like everything in nature just takes time. Anything worth doing takes time. And just some patience.
Yeah, that's actually a good analogy. Like if you planted a seed and you got to go out there and water it every day, and it's got to get sunlight every day, and it'll slowly sprout and then grow.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with that. If you really want to truly make a difference in your health and fitness, you got to do those habits, daily habits, day in and day out consistently in order to achieve whatever that goal is, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can't just, wake up and have a full grown tree. You can't just wake up and be exactly who you want to be and as fit as you want to be. It doesn't work that way. Like anything worthwhile or the best things in life, like you said, take time. And if you really want to be healthy and fit, whatever it is, the longer, that journey takes, the more likely you're going to keep that result for your lifetime. And the more rewarding it is too, in my opinion. Like if you just got something immediately, we don't value it enough. And so then we're more likely to revert back to our old ways and things like that. So I like that analogy of, planting a plant or a seed, or planting the seed. And then you got to consistently water it and show up and reap the reward later.
Yes.
Right. So my last one is practice slow breathing. So this is something that I'll be honest, I have been working toward doing. I do forget quite a bit, so I might have to implement some way of reminding myself. But breathing is one of the fastest tools that you can do to just calm the body in the moment. So I think we've all heard, or at least like watch a movie where, somebody's getting angry or stressed out and the other person just says, okay, let's take a breath, or like just breathe. We've all heard that before. Just take a breath, calm down, So
everybody's taking a deep breath where it's like, you get
whether
stressed out,
you
you're like,
know it or not.
Yep. It's just, you just kind of, okay, take a breath and then.
Yep. So when you're stressed, your breathing tends to become shallow and really fast. So slow breathing helps shift the body toward a calmer psychological state. Reviews show that breathing exercise can reduce stress and anxiety. Research also suggests the more effective breathing practices tend to avoid very short sessions and tend to work better when done consistently. So you can do this before work, before bed, when you're overwhelmed, before a tough conversation, after a stressful day. One kind of tip or something that I have been doing from time to time and I want to do more often is box breathing. So basically you would do a slow inhale, a huge inhale through your nose for about 4 or 5 seconds, hold for 4 or 5 seconds, and then a big exhale through your mouth for 4 or 5 seconds, and then another hold for 4 to 5. And you repeat that for a couple of minutes. And so what I do is just I try to do 10 of those. And so if each one's 20 seconds and I do 10 of them, that's about 3 minutes is all it takes.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you do 5, like just do a few of those big deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth with those holds, and just count to 4 or 5. By that end of it, you're just more relaxed, calm state. You're just kind of slowing everything down. So that's a very effective way. So you don't need anything special. You can literally do this anytime, anywhere. And it's a very fast and beneficial way of calming down and letting go of some stress.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
As a little bonus, an honorable mention that I wanted to throw in here, and something I truly believe makes a big difference, is to do something that you love or enjoy to do as much as you can.
Mm-hmm.
So find those hobbies or things that you love to do and just try to do it more often. Doing something that you enjoy or find meaningful is very helpful for your stress. And the research does show that has a direct correlation with reducing that stress and anxiety. So things like if you enjoy reading, if you enjoy painting, if you enjoy gardening, right? If you enjoy music, creative work, time with family. For me, I like to hunt. I like to golf. I like to play hockey. I like to ride dirt bikes and 4-wheelers. I love spending time with friends and family. So if I try to prioritize those things as much as I can, maybe it's a little bit every single day. That's just going to help you, I think, with your overall mood, happiness, reduce stress, kind of get more of the joys out of life, and just be more grateful for all those things that you can do, and for the things that you enjoy to do. So, yeah. So big takeaway. If you want less stress, don't ask yourself what supplement could I take, or what's the easy, what's the fastest route, or whatever it is. Start asking yourself, what are your habits looking like? So how's my sleep? Am I moving enough? Am I getting outside? Am I connecting with people? Am I constantly overstimulated, checking my phone, things like that? Am I giving my body and my brain time to recover? So this is where the change will start. So here's a little 7-day stress reset challenge. For the next 7 days, do 5 things. Try to go to bed at a consistent time. Move your body for at least maybe 10 minutes a day. Maybe 2 minutes where you're just slowing down and taking some breaths, doing that box breathing or slow breathing. And number 4 and number 3 go together. It's just take a few minutes of quiet time. So maybe it's during your quiet time, do your slow breathing, and then try to get outside or connect with somebody each day. So don't try to fix everything at once. This is all very, very simple things. So even if you don't get to all 5 every single day, try to work through some of those throughout the week, and just start with some of those basics and see how you feel. The other thing is to monitor it. So one of our strategies was journaling. So maybe write down, okay, what is my energy level on a scale of 1 to 10 today? What is my stress level on a scale of 1 to 10? And at the end of the week, after doing these things, kind of reflect and see, or you can do it each night. How was my energy and stress today? How is my energy and stress today? And see if it's improving after implementing these strategies throughout the week. So that would be our tip for you guys. So hopefully this was helpful. Like we said, take some of these and try them out, whatever you think would be the most beneficial. If you have any questions, feel free to let us know. And until next time, stay healthy. We'll see you soon.